My father was never there for us. He
So whose
was
fault is
never
that? It's
there.
your mum's fault. Why is your mum
We
having
had
sex with
to
men that don't
struggle.
want to be
I
there
had
for
to
you?
struggle
That's a
for.
fucked up thing. You blame your mum. Your mum's having sex with a man that didn't want to be there
My
for you. It's
mom,
No,
nothing.
my
you
mom
It's
never.
not your man's
bro.
fault.
When
This
my
Your
is
mum
father,
told you to
different.
listen, no,
impregnate
That's
and tell me
crazy.
to.
listen. You
That's the
can't
fucked up
just
thing.
barge
It's your
into
That's
my
dad.
crazy.
It's not your dad.
privacy.
It's your mum,
You
blood. Your mum
cannot
was losing
barge
That's
into
mad.
my.
crazy. That's a
No,
crazy thing to
D.
Don't come in
do.
You.
here and
That's
I'm
a
not your.
crazy
No,
Listen,
my
your
thing to
mother
dad.
do.
never
Your dad got
slept with
blocked. It's your
anyone.
mum, blood.
My father left
Let her
us.
explain.
You son of a bitch.
Whoa, cool. Don't let him drag you out,
Chill,
man.
man.
Sis,
My.
you gotta let him drag you out.
Yeah,
You're
you
gonna let him,
can't. You
sis. You
can't
gotta
get
let him
dragged
drag you
out,
out, sis.
man.
You can't get
Don't let
dragged
him
out like that.
control
You.
your
You're
emotions.
barging
You
into
gotta
my
stay calm.
privacy.
No, okay, because don't get dragged
Stop
out. You
it.
can't
Yeah, don't let someone
don't
control
do
your
it.
That. I speak
emotions.
that to my mom.
Yeah, don't let him drag you out because that's
God.
what he wants.
Oh.
He's got you. You're done.
Yeah, man.
Like, and he knows. Listen, he
Listen.
knows what he did. So
Listen
you
to
let him.
me.
Don't let him drag you out.
Listen to me.
I'm not
My
listening to
mother
you. I'm not
I'm not
never
gonna
listening
listen
to you
anymore.
because
slept
you're
with
here, and the
anyone.
first
My
thing you want to
mother
do,
was
you want to come
religious.
to me and call
My
me
mother
names,
was
blood.
yourself. My father was never there for us. He
So
was
whose fault is
never
that? It's
there.
your mum's fault. Why is your mum?
Hey guys, welcome to Little Black with 91. Now the title is definitely triggering. I ain't gonna lie to you. I made it triggering because I wanted you to come in. All right, I'm not gonna lie to you. The title's triggering. All right, and we're gonna start off strongly. I was on a live quite recently, just the other day actually, on TikTok. I was on a TikTok platform. TikTok page called Rare Talks. Right. I've interacted with him before because I've been on a podcast with him before, and I've met him face to face, right? But I had seen his content online before, right? And there's some other things have also happened in the background midst of stuff. So the other day I was on TikTok and I see that he's on live, right? So they're having a conversation. So I listen to it from the background. Then I'm like, let me get involved in this conversation, right? Let me see if I can have a conversation, right? So I get on this live, and I was on a live for probably about half an hour or so, maybe even longer than that, right? And I can see when I jump in that he's just on drawing people out. Okay, so he what he does, very similar to what Kevin Samuels does, but I think even a bit more violent than Kevin Samuels does, is that he wants to use a piece of information to prove that you as a woman are beneath him, but he does it in a way of holding women accountable, right? So he will talk about a subject, a relationship subject, whatever. And this young lady was, giving her perspective, saying about how her father left, and he immediately flipped it into being about your mother. Is the one that needs to take accountability. Why she's sleeping with these kind of men, right? And if you watch the video again, you'll see the smile that he has on the end. And the reason why I'm doing this video is because I wasn't going to do it because he didn't put it up on Instagram or something else, another platform, right? So I couldn't even use the evidence anyway. But now you put it on Instagram, and obviously some people can see I'm in it. I don't really care because, like I said, I know exactly what happened on that particular live. Now we can see it. I'm like, okay, cool. Let's break this down because there are men like this. There are so many men in the world that are like this. Not all, not even close to all, but there's a lot of men who carry misogyny, misogynoir, who carry narcissistic traits. Not that he's a narcissist, narcissistic traits. There's so many men that, will belittle, beguile, gaslight, use all types of manipulation to dishevel and to break women. And I'm doing this like I want you to pay attention, because when I break it all the way down, I need you to understand why and how he does this. So when I was on a live with him, I called him out. Like I said, I don't mind having a conversation, trust me, but there's no way you're going to try and draw me out and I'm going to call you out. If you're moving mad and you're not having an intellectual conversation and you're being dishonest and intentionally trying to be problematic so you can get some views, I said, but let's have a real conversation, right? And the whole conversation actually was around Andrew Tate and Andrew Tate being cancelled off the internet. Is it right? And obviously some people were giving their point of views. Now, what I realized about this is a lot of times things like Andrew Tate, Kevin Samuels, cults, churches that are cults and stuff, people know that it's wrong but don't have the language or the range to be able to explain what's actually happening. So there's a form of frustration that happens, and then people start giving personal anecdotes, start giving their personal experiences, start getting peed off, and then they start talking on a no longer on a debate or or on a particular level that's intellectual, it then becomes emotional and one where they can't control how they feel. And it's because they're facing someone who seems to be sociopathic or cold and off and unwilling to empathize with the situation. So I'm going to play the video again, then I'm going to break it all the way down in terms of what was happening, because this was a level of madness for me. But I've seen it before and I know the energy of it, so I wasn't fazed by it. But I wanted to bring this to you so you can also understand as well. You're going to meet men like this. There are men like this in the world, and you do not want to react the same way. So when I said I told this black woman to keep quiet because the men are talking, there's a reason why I told her to be quiet, and it was simply because he's going to draw you out. And I could tell already you're getting emotional from the earlier in the conversation. Once you start getting emotional, that's what he wants to draw from you. It's very much what narcissists do to their abusers. Again, I'm not saying he's a narcissist, but I'm saying that's exactly what narcissists do to their abusers. They rile you up, get you emotional, gaslight you, minimalize it, and then pretend as if, I don't know what you've been talking about. Why are you getting so angry? And now you look like a fool because now you're in a situation where you're like, no, I have every right to feel the way I do. You've done the X, Y, and Z. They're like, I don't know, what's wrong with you? So there's a way to hold them to the fire. So this is why I want to speak about this. So let's get into this. Let's watch it again one more time, and then I'll talk about some of the things that were happening, okay? So let's go.
We had to
Men
struggle.
that don't want to be
I
there
had
for
to
you.
struggle
That's a
for-
fucked up thing. You blame your mum. Your mum's having sex with a man that didn't want to be there
My
for you.
mom.
It's
No,
not
you
you.
can't.
It's not
Bro,
your man's fault.
When my
Your
father,
mum's
listen,
That's
and
crazy.
listen, you can't just barge
It's
into
not
my
that.
crazy.
It's not your dad.
privacy.
It's your mum.
You
Your
cannot
mum's
That's
barge
mad.
into my
That's a
no,
crazy thing to
D.
Don't
do.
come
You
here and
That's
I'm not your
no,
listen.
my
Your
mother
dad
never
your dad
slept
is
with
your
anyone.
mum,
My
blood.
father left us. You son of a bitch.
Whoa, cool. Don't let him drag you out, man.
man.
Sis,
My
you're gonna let
Look at the smile on his face. You notice the smile on his face? Anyway, we'll come back.
him drag you out.
Yeah,
You're
you
gonna
can't
let
get
him drag
caught
you
out,
out,
man.
sis. Can't get
Don't let
dragged out
him
like
control
this.
your
you're
emotions.
barging
You
into
gotta
my
stay calm.
privacy.
No, Nicole, don't get dragged
Stop
out. You
it.
can't.
Yeah, don't let someone control your
Dad, I
emotions.
speak that to my mom.
Yeah, don't let him drag you out because that's what he wants. He's got you. You're done.
Yeah, man.
Like, and he knows. Listen, he knows what he did. So
Listen
you
to me.
don't let him drag you out.
Listen to me. My
I'm not
my
listening
mother
to you. I'm
never
not
Not listening to you.
slept
Because you're
with
here and the
anyone.
first
My
thing you
mother
want to
was
do, you want to
religious.
cuss me and call
My
me
mother
names
was
like-
yourself.
Man, that was a lot. There was a lot happening, and because when I jumped on the live, I saw another woman that was on the live, and I saw how he did her. And I noticed that when he talks to the men, it's different to how he talks to the women. Not saying that he doesn't do that to men, but if you don't come with any level of intelligence, if you're not able to check him, you're gonna find yourself at the bottom, right? You're gonna find yourself a situation where he just discards you, right? So when I got on, there was myself, another dude, I think that's his friend or whatever, and himself, and there's a young lady. That young lady joined after, okay? She joined and she wanted to explain how she felt about the Andrew Tate situation, etc., etc. And when she said what she said, he then said, okay, let me ask you a question. Bear in mind, the conversation was about Andrew Tate, right? The conversation was about Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate. And when she then answered it, then he answered this question, which this is exactly, I know these kind of things when people do this, when the manipulator and the abuser does these things, completely shifts the conversation from away from the actual situation to ask a personal question that has nothing, I won't say there's no bearing, but I would say it's the quickest way to derail the conversation, right? So as soon as he questioned her, he said, so tell me this, are you single or are you married? And actually, some people, let me be honest with you, some of you people do it in the chat. I'm going to be honest with you. Some people do it in the chat. Some people do it in the comment section. When you have an opinion, they go, are you married or are you single? How would you know? Are you not married? So how would you know? And it's like, that then becomes no longer about, becomes about the debate. Focus on the debate. Don't shift it. Okay, because then you're losing the debate and you're going on to personal, and that's what he did. He literally shifted it, and when he asked her, "Oh, are you single? Are you married?" and she's actually single, and he was like, "Oh, see." Then he was like, he said, "I can tell you're hurt. I can tell you're hurt." And now listen, don't get it twisted. A manipulator and an abuser knows exactly how to spot people that are hurt, and I'll tell you why. Oftentimes, it's the rhetoric that you use. the rhetoric and the angle that you use oftentimes tell somebody whether you're coming from a place where there's pain. And he's not the only one that spotted it. I knew as soon as she started talking, I said, sis is gonna hurt herself because she's coming from an angle where she's hurt. The energy she was talking about, I said, sis, you're going to get yourself hurt in this situation because this is all he wants. And what you have to realize is he's trying to go viral. He's trying to blow up. He's trying to be the next Kevin Samuels. He's trying to be the next Andrew Tate. He's trying to be one of the... And a lot of men are in this space right now where they don't mind using you to get to the top. And their argument will be this. There are some men that are pandering and getting to the top. Why can't I give men's perspective in a very strict way, a very straight way, and get to the top? Right? Why can't I do that? See what I'm saying? So now we've got this whole situation where she's now answering a question that's personable, and she starts telling the story about how her father left her mother, and she grew up without a father figure. That's all the ammunition he needed, and he started firing. Right? That's what you see in the video. Right? Exactly what you see in the video. So I'll show you again. Right?
My father was never there for us.
So whose fault is that? It's your mum's fault. Why is your mum having sex with men that don't want to be there for you? That's a fucked up thing. You blame your mum. Your mum's having sex with a man that didn't want to be there for you. It's
No,
not
you
you. It's not
bro,
your man's fault.
this
My
is
Your mum's
father,
different.
different.
That's crazy.
Listen, you can't just bag
It's
into
not
my
crazy.
It's not your dad,
privacy.
it's your mum.
Now, here's the thing. Okay, sis was saying, and this is when I knew that sis was going to have a problem, right? As you can hear her saying, she's like, you just can't barge into my privacy. Babe, you told him the story. Like, you didn't realize. That's why I was trying to tell her, keep quiet. I was telling her, keep quiet. I almost wanted to tell her to shut up. I almost wanted to. Because I was like, you're literally going to give him what he wants. And she kept on walking further and further into the trap. And I'm like, you just want to be heard. And I'm saying to you, stop moving. Stop talking, babe. Because all you're doing right now is you're not actually listening and paying attention to what he's doing. And I was trying to tell her, stop talking. He doesn't care about your past. Stop talking. And she wanted to keep going, and she wanted to tell her story, and she wanted to explain herself. And I was like, keep quiet. He doesn't care. You knew this when you joined the platform, how he treats women. You can see it. And I was like, stop talking. Stop talking. So I'm looking at her and I'm just like, I'm like trying to tell her, like, yo, just so when you hear me here, I'm like, oh, he's drawn you out, man. He's drawn you out, and you've fallen for it, right? You've let your emotions get a hold of you, and in that moment you want to explain yourself about his, and it had nothing to do with the conversation. It was about Andrew Tate, and look where it's gone to, right? And then this happens, the explosion happens, because now you're angry, you're hurt, you're frustrated.
You cannot barge into my... No, D.
Don't come
You
here and
That's
I'm not your...
No,
Listen,
my
your
mother
dad
never
knew.
slept with anyone. My father left us. You son of a bitch.
Draw out. Draw out. Draw out. Simple as draw out. Right? So now you're vexed, you're angry, you're frustrated because you wanted to explain your side and he didn't care. But he didn't care before. And I was, and that's why I said to her, I was trying to tell her, keep quiet, stop talking, focus back on the subject. Don't worry. I said, don't answer it. I told her before that, I said, don't answer the question. Do not answer the question, sister. I know her name. I don't want to say her name. I said, don't answer the question. She went ahead and answered the question. Like, when you're dealing with people that are manipulative, right, and people that have manipulative ways, some people will try to almost act as if they're gonna be separate from, or should I say that they can do something different, right? And it's like, I'm looking at it and I'm going, he's gonna do what he's gonna do. First of all, it's his platform, okay? We've jumped onto his platform, all right? And he's already got form and history of saying wild stuff and not caring. The previous girl, he said the exact same thing. He said, I'm not here to be your friend. I'm not here to be your boyfriend. Whatever you're saying, I don't really care. You heard him say these things. As soon as a woman tries to even make a valid point, he has a problem. That's the biggest issue. So before she started talking, I told her, shut up. Keep quiet. Don't answer the question because that's what he wants from you. It's a personal question when we're having a big ass debate. So now she's in a situation where she's absolutely vexed, and I can understand why she's vexed, right?
Whoa, cool. Don't let him drag you out, man. Sis, you're gonna let him drag you out.
Yeah, you can't
let him drag you out, sis. Can't get dragged out.
As you can see, he's there stroking his beard. He's happy. He's got his viral moment, right? He's got his viral moment. He's here. He's got his viral moment. He done. He's happy. He's got his little fame, his little clout from your particular video. He's done. And these kind of people, when you move with them, one thing you have to understand as well, people like him, right? A lot of times men only respect, and because I can tell when people are carrying a certain kind of massage, they will only deal with other men. Right? Which is why I was telling her to keep quiet. Let the men talk to him. Because he's not going to hear you. Sometimes, I say to the lady, sometimes just keep quiet. Let a man deal with him. Because he's not going to hear you. If he's carrying misogyny, he does not care what you think, feel, or hear. And only a man. So I was trying to say to her, listen, let me deal with him. I'll talk to him. Let me deal with him. But she wouldn't. Because she wanted to get a point across. And I was like, no, sis. You cannot bargain with the devil here. In this particular aspect, right? He doesn't care. And then the explosion happens, you get vexed, you get angry, and absolutely right. Ken, yeah, I know. You know what I mean? So immediately now, he's there smiling, stroking his beard. Look how happy he is. Mission accomplished, right? Watch.
You're barging into my private scene.
No, because don't get dragged out. You can't.
Yeah, don't let someone control your
Dad, why
emotions.
speak that to my mom?
So now she's vexed. She's like, don't speak that thing to my mom. But babe, who told you to tell him? I told you, keep quiet. Don't say anything. Like, did you think you could change his mind? He's done the same thing to a couple of other women. And that's when I realized about human beings, but also women too. Sometimes you wanna try and change the person's mind. There is none. What he's done to you, literally were on seeing him talk to other women, right? You should literally watched him speak to another woman before you came on, do the exact same thing. But you thought by coming on you would change his mind. He's not going to, right? He's not going to. So, and obviously at the point of this video, I had been speaking to him for about 20 minutes, but not really speaking because at points he was doing the same thing to me. He was belittling me. He was insulting me. He was misdirecting communications. Because when I was coming on, I was like, I'm holding you to the fire, bro. You're not going to... When he goes off course, I said, no, let's get back to the original point. It's about Andrew Tate. Don't go off. Come back. Right? And then as soon as I started checking him, then the insults for me started happening. You're feminine. You're this. And when he starts insulting me, I just go to him, okay, I'm feminine. But back to the point. Because see, when you're dealing with someone like this, the emotion is what they want from you. Emotion is their greatest currency. Narcissists operate the exact same way. Your greatest currency for a narcissist is your emotion. It's the fact that you get so tied up. You get so tied up, right? You get so caught up in a conversation that you don't realize now that's all he wants. The emotion you give, he's got you. So now that lady there, she's been drawn in and literally discarded, used. Right? He's happy, he's smiling. So previously before that, I've been speaking to him and he was trying to, and as soon as I disagreed with him, that's when he started calling me a feminine. You know, that's why men don't talk to men, just because of people like you, you know, you're soft, you're this, you're that. All the name calling came out and I said to him, bro, that's fine. But let's get back to the original point, because what you're not going to do is move away from the debate, right? Because what all the belittling you're doing doesn't make no difference to me. I want to debate, so let's go back to the debate. Because all you want is to draw me out and me to get angry. See, that's why he's feminine. That's why he's feminine. Nope, I don't mind. At one point, this is how low someone can get when they're really in a manipulative space, is that he has like 70,000 followers on TikTok. I have 450,000, but he claimed that I was chasing clout. And I looked at him and I said, I'm chasing clout. I said, I have 450,000 followers and you have 70. Who's chasing clout? Right? I stated facts. I said, listen, but if that's how you feel, it's how you feel. Right? Every time he tries to draw you out emotionally, I just said, let's go back to the facts. I don't want to get drawn out. I don't want to get drawn out and get emotional because it's not worth it. Number one. Number two, he doesn't care. Number three, it's going to prove his point. So sticking to the facts. So when I told the lady, sometimes when you deal with men like this, right? When you deal with men like this, you don't fight them by trying to show them who's... No, I don't need to show you anything. Let's have a conversation. You're going to make yourself look foolish. Right? Let's have a conversation. You're going to make yourself look foolish. Because you're not realizing what you're saying. That's cool. We can deal with the facts, though. And so now, because someone might ask, so why didn't you check him? I did throughout the whole entire life. But the problem was on this situation with that young lady, I told her beforehand, don't say anything. And she said something. And I had to let her, I had to let her go through it a bit. What can I do? I can't stop you. It's not my platform. You know what I mean? It's not my platform. It's not my platform. So now, right? Once I've told you, I can't force you not to say anything. So now you said it, and then he's now got you in that position. It's a lesson for her to learn. She's got to learn the lesson. People like that, they don't care. Right? People like that, they don't care. So when they don't care like that, if you try to go, and fight people, you'll miss the mark. Someone like him, they will continually do what's best for them. But for you, you must stick to the task. And actually, when I realized that, I was like, it's close to what narcissists do a lot of times. It's close to what narcissists do at a time as well. And they do this tactic where they want to derail the conversation. Look, I was just, even talking about Andrew Tate himself, I haven't done the full research on Andrew Tate, but some of the stuff that I've come across with Andrew Tate, it's just mindless misogyny, some of it. It's just like some of the conversations that he has, you're like, bro, what are you talking about? Right? And that's why as some people that will follow these people, you're like, what's wrong with you? Like, he's telling the truth. No, he's telling some truth. I mean, Hitler would have told some truth, I'm sure. But when you start having certain rhetorics and certain... Sorry, remember that video that I did for you guys a few months back? I did it after Kevin Samuels passed away. And I said to you guys, about the fact that who will replace Kevin Samuels? Let me see if I can find it. I remember I said, who's going to replace Kevin Samuels? Because there's gonna be a space at the top, and people want to repeat what he has done already. That's all. People want to repeat what he's done, and so there'll be people that will literally want to copy him and become like him. Right? So honestly, it's sad, but yeah, it's and I just knew it was gonna happen. So when it's happened, I can show you guys. So look, the manosphere is going through a period now where men are looking to copy the same route of Kevin Samuels to become as successful. They've seen a route to success. They've seen somebody like Kevin Samuels make it by disrespecting men. Now, before Kevin Samuels, was Tommy Somataya. Before Kevin Samuels, there was Tommy Somataya, whatever his name is, Tommy Somataya, whatever his name was, who also was disrespectful to black women. The level of disrespect. Now, here's my thing. Can you tell the truth without being disrespectful? Right? Can you tell the truth without being disrespectful? Let me tell you something. When I was on that gentleman's live, I could tell him the truth without being disrespectful. I didn't have to say any necessary mean words or do shock factor. Although I called him what it is. I said he's manipulative. I told him that he's being manipulative right now. He should stop. When he was being manipulative at points, I'll tell him, you're being manipulative. Stop it. Yeah. I would call him out, right? but I didn't have to be disrespectful. Right? I needed not to be disrespectful. So when somebody runs a platform and their whole thing is, I want to hold women accountable and I want to give men a safe space, and the safe space is about trashing black women, then I have a problem. I don't mind. Listen, if the men were to say, listen, look, we have problems with black women. These are the problems we have with black women. They're unaccountable at times. We see that sometimes they're rude. Sometimes they don't have a good attitude or whatever, right? But they were saying it in the sense of, look, there must be something we can do to help this. Or, you know, saying, look, we know that there's a problem in our community. This is what we're going through at the moment. This is how us men are feeling. But it doesn't stay there. It often goes into an attack, which is completely different, right? It no longer becomes constructive criticism. It becomes a place where we're firing weapons. We're firing nuclear bombs. We are, you know, bringing knives to the show to cut. And when that starts to happen, we don't allow for any, it doesn't allow for any purposeful dialogue and communication. Right? Doesn't. So when you're dealing with men like what I just showed you here, men like this who can say stuff like this.
Yeah, don't let him drag you out, because that's what he wants. He's got you. You're done. And he knows. Listen, he knows what.
Look how he's stroking his beard. Look how happy the guy is stroking his beard. Now I need you to deep it. That he's happy that he's got you. You cannot give men like this a satisfaction. He's happy that he's got you. Look how he's stroking his beard. He's so happy that he's got you, drawn you out, because he feels he's proved his point, right? And now look what happens.
So don't let him drag you out.
Listen to me.
Listen to what she's saying. Listen to me. Listen to me. Babe, he's not listening to you. Why are you hell-bent? And this is the same thing she's doing, is the same thing people were doing on Kevin Samuel's platform. I want to be heard. I want to be heard. I want to be heard. He don't give a hoots. He don't give a hoots. And as a woman, there are certain battles that you need men to fight for you when you're involving men. Just like when there's certain battles with women, there are men that we need. Sometimes men, we just need to shut up and keep quiet. Let the women handle it, right? Because being up in men's business, there's a misogyny, misogynoir. There is problematic thought processes and patterns. Having another woman challenge them is gonna be a problem because of how we view them. And I always say this as well. Even myself, I'm still working out my own misogyny. Or misogynoir, if you want to call it that. There's still aspects of my misogyny, misogynoir, that will be within myself, because I am born into a patriarchal society where I'm privileged and I'm entitled. And therefore, there's probably going to be some blind spots that even I can't see. Okay? So even I have to, at points, work out my own misogyny and misogynoir. But what I'm saying in this particular case is that as this particular individual, look what he was doing. Look how he was planning and plotting. Look how happy he was to say this. He doesn't care apart from getting you to be finished. Right? And then at the end, right? On the end, yeah, she didn't pay attention to the warfare that was happening, if I'm honest with you. A previous girl had already done the exact same thing. And then the girl after her, when she came on, was the same thing. Honestly, LJ, it's an ambush. And the problem is that women will come onto these type of platforms and they're frustrated because they're hearing a man say this, but he don't care. He wants what you have, which is your emotions. He wants you to get frustrated and angry. He wants you to get riled up. He wants you to say something wild. He wants you to say something wild so that he can now sit back and be like, what did I say about modern women? What have I told you about modern women? I've told you about modern women. Modern women, I've told you about how they are. They're combative. They're rude. They've got attitudes. They don't know their place. Right? And then he goes, here's the evidence. Here's the evidence. Right? Here's the evidence. Can I be honest with you? It wasn't Kevin Samuels. I'll be honest with you. It wasn't Kevin Samuels. All that Kevin Samuels has done is highlight what was already there. All Kevin Samuels has done is unearth what was already there. there are sections of black men in general, but let's say black men for this particular conversation, who carry this this mindset, right? They carry this particular mindset. They don't care. They don't appreciate. They don't. And let me tell you something. If you follow this guy, there are so many things that are following him that are wicked. It's a problem. So, honestly, you know, all Kevin Samuels did was present it in the public space. Some of the madness that some of these men are following. Now, I can say that some of the things that they spoke about, I understood. You know, I did. But the trouble is now there's a public platform and money can be made from it. That's the issue. Right? Yeah, that's exactly it. Right? And until we start to unlearn our misogyny and misogynoir, and begin to realize and appreciate that we have human beings as women and human beings as men, this doesn't change, you know? So now you've got this guy smiling.
My mother never
listening.
My mother was religious. My mother was upset.
So as soon as a woman wanted to try and say something now, he's like, no, that's it, you're done, finished, got you. And it's the exact same thing that a narcissist or abuser would do to their partner. It's like, when you say something now and they're a little bit hurt by that, suddenly now nothing else you said matters. And what's going to happen is you're going to end up saying sorry. It happens in relationships too. You meet men or you meet women, but let's say specifically for this particular conversation, you meet men who, when you argue with them, every time it's going to be your fault. If you're in that situation, baby, you're in an abusive relationship. If every single time you have an argument with somebody, they somehow flip it onto you and you're the issue, you're probably in an abusive relationship. Let me redirect that. You're probably in an abusive relationship. Because in all honesty, somebody who's sound and healthy also understands how they contribute towards a problem. And this is not just men. There are women like this too. But we're talking about men today. And in this scenario, okay, now she's raised her voice, got angry, got out of pocket. Who's going to apologize? Right? Everyone's going to forget what he said in the beginning. We know what he said in the beginning. He riled her up. He triggered her. But now it's going to be about her response. It's going to be about her response. Not about his prodding and poking. It's going to be about her response. Right? So don't let these people drag you out. Like, do you know what I mean? When people are having these kind of conversations, if they're trying to take you left, stick to the topic. Say, hey, look, I appreciate that, but I want to stick to the topic. You know, or I don't want to ask you about, are you married? I'm like, listen, look, if you can tell, and you can tell, if it's not part of the conversation, you will know. It doesn't fit the narrative. Right? So it was interesting because he was doing several things on his live that, you know, I was watching and just observing. I was taking notes. Okay, that's what he does. Oh, okay. Yeah. Right? So even though I felt like he was being mad on his app, on his platform, on his particular page, when he cut across me, I would tell him, listen, bro, you cut across me. I can't finish my point. Can I finish my point? If he says no, I go, okay. You know why? Because I can't come on your platform and start telling you what to do. And that's not how I'm going to get you. You know what I mean? That's not how I'm going to get you. That's not how I'm going to get you to see. That's not how I'm gonna nuke you. No. If I start trying to argue, no. Let me just wait. All right, you don't want me to talk now. You talk then. And so what happens is you have women coming onto these platforms like his that when he says to them, "I'm talking now," she will still try to yapper. She will still try to fight. I was talking. You know, I was the one that was talking. You've interrupted me. Stop. Calm down. Stop. You're trying to win a battle that doesn't need to be won. Of course, listen, you want to have your say, but you ain't going to win the battle that way, right? You're not going to win the battle that way, right? Once you've mentioned to him, once he cuts across you, you said, hey, excuse me, sorry, I was just talking, can I finish off my point? And you asked me a question, can I finish off my point? And he continues talking, just zip it. Keep quiet. Let him talk. Let him have it. You see, because people are watching, and this is the bigger thing that you have to realize, me trying to outbeat him with trying to overtalk him wouldn't work. I needed the people that were following him to see that he's not intellectual. He can't keep on to a debate. He can't keep on track. And the people that will follow him, they haven't got two brain cells to put together. Let's be honest. right? You haven't got two brain cells put together. So when now that situation comes, I'm like, if I can say, can I have my say, please? Can I have my say, please? All right, no, you're not gonna let me finish. All right, no worries, cool. Keep quiet. You see, because once you get frustrated about him cutting you off, it's gonna piss you off another place, or he's gonna do something else that's gonna make you feel annoyed another place, and then before you know it, you're blowing up. And you don't want to blow up. You want to stay in control. You want to regulate your emotions. You want to regulate your. You want to be able to think, so you can come up with your points to be able to rebuttal. Right? So I stayed on there for a good 30, 35 minutes, and it got to a point where I realized he's going to cut me off. It got to a point where they were having a conversation. I said to him, I said to him, what? Because he tried to take me left, and I said to him, I'm not going left. He's like, why not answer a question? I said, I'm not going left because it's got nothing to do with what we're talking about right now. Let's get back onto topic, right? I said that 3 or 4 times. On the 4th time, I said, let's get back to topic. What he did was, he said something wild, and then he said, yeah, let's get back to topic because that's where we need to be. And I said to him, but did you realize that I told you let's get back to topic 4 times, but you didn't listen to me, right? Because at this point, I'm ready to get off anyway myself. I've done half an hour. I think I'm good, right? So now I'm ready to exit. If he wants to exit me, I'm fine with that now. He's like, oh, you're being feminine right now. I said, what if I'm being feminine? Let me be feminine. You know what I mean? If I'm being feminine, let me be feminine. I remember when I told him about Kevin Samuel's physical abuse, that he advocated for it. He said, where? I said, I've done videos on this on YouTube. You can go and search it if you want. Go search it. And so I got to a point where now he's frustrated, and he's like, do you know what? He's like, he was like, I can't remember what he said, something. And he said, listen, you're just being feminine, and I don't want to be here. And I was like, well, bro, I guess, maybe this is like the end. I knew this was coming to an end. So it got to a point, and he said, listen, yeah, I don't want to talk to you anymore. X. But I knew it was coming. At that point, I knew it was coming. And I'm not angry. I'm not frustrated. Because once I kept my cool, there's nothing to be angry about. It's when you get angry, okay, that now when they do this, you're vexed even more. Well, you're not going to destroy my day. As far as I'm concerned, I said what I need to say. You proved yourself to be an ass. I'm going to be for it. You know what I mean? So you have to just remain chill, guys. Look, in these scenarios, don't let your emotions override. Don't let it take over. Don't let it get to a point where you're now having to, what this young lady did, unfortunately, said, you son of a B, like you SOB. You don't want to be in that space. Because then it's hard to come down from. You know what I mean? It's embarrassing. Then it makes you feel some way. Nah, don't let them do it to you. Don't let them draw you out like that, sis. All right? But listen, guys, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you for joining this live. Again, the title was there really just to kind of trigger, I guess. But what it was to get people in through the door so they can actually hear a message. Listen, if situations like this, you're dealing with abusive, narcissistic, a kind of person, let the man take that conversation. And if you are gonna have to be part of that conversation, don't get yourself into an emotional pickle. Don't let him draw you out. All right? Don't let him draw you out. Okay? Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. Someone said, I saw that reel that said black men, we are watching how you treat your women and children. Yeah. It's real out here. Anyway, listen, like, share, subscribe, guys. Click on the bell button for notification uploads. We appreciate you guys. We'll see you again very, very soon. Again, stay strong and keep the strength, guys. Okay, be emotionally regulated. Love, man. Appreciate you guys.